Hello, I'm Nathaniel Smith. Today we're going to review... Before I review this book, there's something I want to address. See, there's this issue that is happening and occurring and has happened a lot. A large quantity, a large amount of the time. This happens when a subject matter is addressed, and it's about the Roman mythology. Okay, let me explain. I have nothing against ancient Rome or what they did artistically or intellectually or so forth. They did some wonderful things. There's some gruesome, violent things they did, but there are some, artistic and technologically advanced things that they managed to do as well, and cultural things and so forth. There's good along with the bad. But there is something that needs to be understood. To put it bluntly, Roman mythology is Greek mythology. I kid you not, the Roman and Greek mythologies are the exact same mythology. All that happened was Rome changed the names to Roman names, or Latin, because that was the language they were using, and that was about it. Like, they continued forward with some of the myths, creating the Aeneid, which, by the way, the Aeneid tells the story of how Rome was made, and the story of Rome being made was actually made right after the events of the Trojan War, which, if you know, the Trojan War only affect the Greeks and the Greeks and the Trojans. So, literally, Rome admitted that they were just essentially they just converted themselves to the same religion / mythology that the Greeks did with Greek mythology. They didn't create this mythology of their own. I know, it's so confusing now because you got, like, Rick Riordan, the guy who did the Percy Jackson series, actually retelling the exact same story with the exact same gods that just have different names in another series. So, a lot of people are even getting more confused about it than it already is. And that's not saying the series that he made is bad or anything. I'm just showing how deep and confusing this is to people. This is so confusing that the people that thought it was smart to name the planets out of the classical gods and goddesses would name them in the Roman names, even though they're the Greek gods. Wouldn't it be more respectful and honorable if you name them by the proper names, the original names? If you were going to make an honorable name of, say, Huckleberry Finn, and you decide to do that by using Huckleberry Finn in Spanish name, or vice versa, like, what if you wanted to respect Don Quixote, but you wanted to respect Don Quixote by doing it in the English name? It doesn't make any damn sense, but we did that with the Roman name variation of the Greek gods, even though they're the exact same gods and goddesses and mythology and, like, everything. It's the exact same bloody mythology, word for word, letter for letter. Even the art admits that, because a lot of the art that Rome made was copies of the ancient Greek art / artifacts, etc. So, it doesn't make any bloody sense to me how, someone like me and everyone else can be so confused by one of the most simple to understand things. Oh, the Greek and Roman mythology are the same mythology. That's it. Same bloody mythology. There you go. They just use different names in the Roman for their language, aka Latin. That's their language, apparently. And there you go. It's that simple. We totally overcomplicated that. Anyways, that out of the way, the book I'm reviewing is about the Greek heroes, Tales of the Greek Heroes. It's a really good book, it's about a lot of these great adventures and heroes, obviously, that went on, well, quests, if you will, of the time. There's a great section with Hercules, great section about Jason and Argonauts, some random stuff about, like, uh, story of Prometheus and a few other random stuff. It's really good. It's a retelling of all these myths in this sort of semi-short story format, if you will, but like in a chapter by chapter way, like setting, if that makes any sense. And it's really good. It's still entertaining, and it's not too much of a summary. In fact, the only criticism I could really say towards it is that the very first bit, the coming of the immortals, the chapter 1, that's a bit too summarizing, and it takes a while to get to where it's going, and when it starts to get to the interesting stuff, it's just sort of barely mentioned. But after that, it gets pretty much right into chapter 2 onwards. They get more into telling the actual stories. There is occasional mentioning of other great stories that don't get as focused as the ones in the chapters of the book. But remember, this is summarizing slash retelling, short storytelling, a gigantuan amount of mythology of interconnected whatchamajiggies that's all over the map. So it'd be hard to keep it all on track. And this book managed to do it very well, very entertainingly. It summarizes, but without summarizing too much. So, all in all, it's a very good read. And if you need help, starting out reading the Greek myths, Tales of the Greek Heroes would definitely help.